This is horrible.
Let's just hope they get away
Middle
clean.
of the field, Renata Che. Top of the screen, Lani Belcher. They're my two. This is horrible.
Let's just hope this results in a clean start for all of these girls. And they're
Away
off
they
at
go.
last.
And there's the drone shot. What a great shot to have. Lani Belcher on the far second right on your picture. She's the one who's taken the lead.
One of the
In
girls
the middle
is
of the
down.
field, you've got Renata Che. You've got Christina Bedek leading in the middle, 151. And it's Belcher, Bedek, Hartley, Kisley,
Our confirmation.
Che for now having to be pushed back into the lead V. Another swimmer.
Well, the first swimmer I can tell
And
you
a
is
sinker. So we've got a sinkage and a swim. There must have been a strong coming together there.
well, the first swimmer was the Japanese girl.
It's Australia. And it could be Holland.
That's Heidi Pol of Netherlands who swam.
There's a Dutch athlete, Australian athlete, but the group
And it's
goes
Kate
on
Leverett,
up to
I
the
think, has gone
front.
with her.
There's the group. So it's Bedek, Belcher. On the left, Figueras from Spain. On the right, Jenny Egan in the V. Bridget Hartley looking good for her. Renata Che in all sorts of trouble. Just coming out to the right-hand side of the group in the white boat behind Jenny Egan. So it's Bedek. Nobody I've spoken to so far this weekend has fancied Bedek's chances, but she's certainly showing some form in the early stage. And Renata Che in very unfamiliar territory at the back of that group. Belcher, turquoise front of the boat, looking very strong to me. Jenny Egan safely to Belcher's right. And there goes Che around the right-hand side of the group. But 159, that is a sinkage for Kate Leverett. And I don't think her race is going to continue. But Bedek moving on strong. It's going to be tough now for Hartley to hold on to her V as Figueras gets pushed into the V behind Bedek. What a great straight for the first turn from these girls. Kisley also struggling. She's picking up the pieces at the back of the group. So Belcher, Bedek, and I'm struggling to see who's on this side, but we'll give you a name check as soon as we can.
Well, Lani Belcher had a pretty extreme plan to get to the front, coming in right from the outside, and she pulled that off spectacularly
You
well.
really have no choice when you're stuck that far away from the main group in the middle. You have to get out fast, and you have to do it confidently. So it's Denmark. It's Hansen from Denmark on the left, one of the big players again. So the front three, Bedek to her left, Hansen to her right, Belcher tucked in the back, I think it's Figueras. Jenny Egan in the green boat with a white nose, closest to us. Hartley in the all green boat with a black tail, and also there Broughton just on the back of that group. So Argentina 162 is
That's Loza.
Loza. Not sure where in the field she was, but this is a great group. But look at the back of that group. That's Renata Che in the white boat, marking time for now, but that is not where you choose to be. I haven't seen her that far down in a group for a long time. She will sort that out later on. So we've got two Spaniards, two Great Britain, one from Ireland, South Africa in there with two, Hungary with two.
And that's Kolik of Argentina hanging
And
on to the back of the
there
bunch.
is Koziskova in the pink boat. We thought she wasn't on the sort of form to be mixing it with the big guns this weekend, and she's struggling. She struggled a couple of weeks ago in the 5K at the Sprint World Championships. She just lacked the speed she needed to get to safety.
Well, she's hell-bent on getting on that front group.
She'll get there, I think. I mean, she's got an engine in her, that girl. So, yeah, there's no doubt. And she's also got a big heart. So it's certainly not over with. I mean, it's 2 minutes from the start still.
Well, there's a bunch of 14 or 15 coming up to this top turn can. That's going to be interesting to watch. So strap yourselves down.
Eva Barrios is the first Spaniard there in the black boat.
Hartley's been bullied off that diamond by Barrios. And around the top
they
turn
go. Belcher's got an easy trip round on the inside there. And this is going to split the group, I think, because Hartley's in all sorts of trouble. Egan also just a little gap behind her, and it's a group of four, and Belcher is going for it.
Kazishkova around the turn can, still in pursuit of the pace setters in that group.
But Che in all sorts of trouble as well. She's found herself behind the split in that group, and she's got work to do. So we've got South African there.
That's Melanie van Niekerk.
This is a class field, and we haven't seen Christina Bedek do this much damage for a long time. She took it all the way to the top turn, handed over to Belcher, and now they're trying desperately to reform that group. Egan tucked in, the only V available at the moment. So but look at this for a bunch. Lizzie Broughton sticking it to him for now.
And that Shea suddenly looking far more comfortable just outside Broughton, just to her right.
Shea back in familiar territory at last. And Kaziskova also has made contact with that front group. So most of the big players still included.
After a nervy start, it must be said.
A very nervy start and a very unusual start. So we've got both Spaniards there.
Hartley tucked in the back. She's in the green boat with the white cap on.
And Jenny Egan in all sorts of trouble. She's coming round. Pace picks up, and there goes Che for the first time, taking Bedek with her. Jenny Egan covering that well. Belcher's the one who's suffering now. The wash should fall for her. Belcher's going to take on Broughton for the V, and she's got it. Awesome work from Belcher there. It's a shame it was at the expense of her own teammate, but that's racing for you. So away goes Chai. Belcher tucked in nicely. Egan, second wash out. And around the turn they go, led by the multiple world champion, Renata Che.
Great
and what a great shot.
Wow.
So there they go round. You can see how much room's left on the inside. Everyone's going to be round tidy. It's Broughton who's struggling a little bit on the inside there, but no gaps have opened. Again, that looks like Kaziskova maybe just struggling around the turn there. Yes, it was. And also Kisley fighting to get back in contention with the group. Hanson, way better performance than we saw from her earlier in the season. For me, Belcher so far, when it comes to the big names, is doing the best job.
Not good news for Bridget Hartley. I think it's got too hot in the kitchen for Bridge. She's off the back of that bunch.
That's Piazza from Italy leading her group round the turn. There's confirmation of the front group. Che, Barrios, Egan, Belcher, Hanson, Broughton, Figueras, Kisley, Kaziskova, and you might still want to include Hartley for now at least. But it's Bedek leading. And they're going round the wrong side of the pontoon, it would seem. There's officials desperate to get them around the left side of the pontoon, and they've seen it now.
Thank goodness.
That could have been, I mean, what would have happened there if you take the whole race around one side? Do you disqualify everyone? Hartley could have won this.
And they've all been watching for the last 2 days.
And Kaziskova has had her brain in gear the whole time. She's to the right of your screen there, and she's going to join in possibly at the front of this group when they come across.
Somebody thinking and paddling.
So Bedek having to speed up now, because I think Kaziskova's going to come into shot any moment now. There's the group, and there's Kaziskova. She's made contact with the group again through that. Great paddling from her, great thought process.
Get out of jail free card, because she was really struggling.
But Belcher, what a first lap from Belcher. She's going to get the whole of that first lap. And there we go. Renata is up and running. Belcher in the V still. Barrios covers her well, as does Bedek. But we know that if Che gets away, it is very, very hard to catch her. Belcher's been balked by a bit of poor turning, and it's going to be Broughton who's the main gainer from this. Awesome work by Broughton. She's going to come around the turn. She's going to be one of the break three. And what fantastic work from Lizzie Broughton. If she can make this gap, it's going to be huge. It's Che putting it into them now. It's only Bedek and Broughton with her. Jenny Egan, I think, is the one who might make it back to the V. It's hard to see in the silhouettes, but I'm pretty sure it's Jenny Egan. She's made it back into the V, and it's going great for the Irish. Also,
that's Belcher on the outside, on Egan's wave.
But it's Egan and Broughton did an awesome job there. A little bit of confusion at the turn, and Egan and Broughton were more than up to the task. Belcher was hindered, I think, by Hansen, who turned badly. And now there's work to be done for the first time. Kisley comes around the left of the group. She cuts out Figueras. She's coming up to the side of Broughton, who's on the side of Che. No, she's going to tuck in behind Broughton. So it's Kisley and Belcher picking up the pieces. Belcher's choosing to come around the outside of Bedek. And if she does that, she needs to make it stick. And the group reforms and starts to settle down. But that was exciting stuff.
Vanda Kisley, one of the big beneficiaries of that wide turn, because she got a slingshot around the inside, which suddenly took her from struggling off the back.
Yeah, Kisley and Broughton read that so well. Broughton probably a perfect turn for her. Belcher's going to take on Bedek to get to the side of Che. Bedek's a little bit of an attempt to hold her off, but no, that's over. No, she's going to press on again. Bedek said no to Belcher, and Belcher accepted it.
Broughton in the red boat on the right-hand side of the bunch.
We've got a group of girls who can all, in terms of portaging ability, you know Che can portage. Belcher, very good. Broughton, very, very good. Kisley, efficient. Bedek, maybe okay. Not sure about the others. Only
coming into the bottom turn can. It's Che at the front with Bedek.
Che needs to be covered on these moves, because she's so dangerous. If she gets to the portage first
and
runs
vulnerable.
hard. Hartley's done well. She's going to make it around the inside. The gap will open up on the second half of the turn. There it is. There's the gap, and Hartley goes round. She's going to come out top 5.
Oh, and there's a lot of bashing and bumping
all sorts going on
there
in the background, and that collision involved Kisley as well. So it's Kisley and Barrios, Broughton and Hansen. And what a great turn from Hartley.
But they're 4 alone at the front.
At worst, Hartley falls back to a group of 5 now. But that 4 at the front are away and clear. And at least 2 of those run extremely well. In they come for the portage. It's going to be Egan, who's the most scared of this at the moment.
Che coming in hot.
Egan, the one who's vulnerable here. Che straight in, not leaving much room for the others, but enough to be getting on with. Belcher's first out along with Che. They're the 2 good runners. Egan a little bit slow out the boat.
Belcher running well on the outside, but it's Che at the front.
So Belcher and Che, they're the 2 runners in this front group. Bedek holding her own. Egan, best I've seen her run, but look at Barrios run. She's going to close the gap from group 2. It's Barrios who's going to bridge the gap. Kisley also running extremely well. Both have outrun Broughton and both have outrun Kaziskova. Egan in her boat well. Belcher clear and clean away.
Oh, and there are a lot of boats putting in simultaneously.
It's going to be chaos. There's going to be a little bit of aggro here. Kisley is stuck on the landing stage. Bedek's away well. The top 4 away. Barrios, awesome portage from Barrios to put herself back in that front 4. And it's Belcher, got the best of it.
And
surprised to see Che not doing too much on that portage.
Beautifully done by Jen Egan as well.
Kisley and Hartley, I don't think it's only going to be Kisley bridges that gap. We've got Bedek there, the next boat in shot is Kisley, and then a gap opens up. And it's Hartley who's done so much work, who is not going to be able to bridge that gap. But she's got some strong paddlers with her still. Kaziskova's back there, and Broughton's back there, so there's still time. There's Hartley. Hartley really needs to call it a day at the front of that group. She's got 2 workhorses with her, and Hartley does not need to be doing what she's doing right now.
Well, she's got Kaziskova alongside her.
Kaziskova and Broughton, they're both boats that will pull her back to the front. She just needs to relax.
Broughton's going to the other side of Kaziskova.
Yeah, Kaziskova's going to do the work. And with them, Hansen. It's a good group of 4. Hansen won't be much use to them in terms of closing the gap, but Kaziskova will do.
So 10 becomes 6 at the front.
It's tough times for those three on their own outside of the main group. But this main group will fragment at some stage. It's not going to stay as 7 forever.
Well played by the girls in that bunch. They disturbed a flock of Egyptian geese that flew at eye level through the middle of the bunch. You don't want to get flustered by that sort of thing.
I was with a group of my kids that I was coaching the other day, and there was a formation, a beautiful V-wash formation of geese coming up behind us. You could hear them coming. I pointed them out to my kids. Said, guys, look at that. That's how you do it. As they passed overhead, shat right on the back of my head. A massive thump on the back of the head.
Blessings from
covered
heaven.
in goose. It's lucky, apparently, to have that happen to you. Bird shit on the back of the head. It didn't feel lucky at the time, I must admit, but I'm sure the geese got a lot of entertainment from it.
Sure they didn't get thanks
So
from you.
Che round the bottom turn. She'll squeeze on the pace a little. Egan and Belcher safe. Tucked in the back is Barrios. She's safe. You can see how Kaziskova is fighting it at the back of the group, as is Bedek. Kisley, a little bit gap opening. She won't have any trouble closing that, but it's Bedek and Kaziskova who've got some work to do again. Egan, very happy to be where she is right now. What Jenny Egan doesn't need to do is find herself at the back of this group coming into a portage and having to run under pressure.
One of the takeaways from that first portage was how well Jen Egan ran that. So she could be looking at that as an attack opportunity.
She did run as well as the other girls, but I do feel it takes a little bit more out of her than some of the more natural runners. Belcher runs really, really well, as does Che. And this is the chase pack, and they are hoping, against hope at the moment, that the front group splinters at this portage and they can pick up a few stragglers.
So Che leading the 5 into the portage. Kaziskova taking the wider line. It's not the first time we've seen that coming around that bottom turn, Ken.
So there you can see the portage as they approach it, 50, 60 meters to go. Kaziskova, persistent. When you're racing, Kaziskova is the sort of racer you absolutely hate. You think, I've got rid of you 10 times, could you just leave it there? But she keeps coming back, and all credit to her, and Bedek's come with her, and out they get. I love this shot from the drone. We're going to portage with them this time. Che and Belcher out. Belcher so well out. Che in a little bit of trouble with the position of her boat. Jenny Egan also slow out, but she's up and running well. And Belcher is setting it to them this time. It's Barrios from Spain. She ran so well on the last one, but she seems to be struggling a bit now.
And Egan's got work to do.
Jenny Egan, great job. She's running well in third place there. And Kisley is going to overhaul her on the run, I think. But Egan, I think, happy with this. Barrios, a quick look behind.
Super job
See
from
if anyone
Belcher.
else is coming, but this group of 5 looks to be, oh, it's chaos. Kisley is in all sorts of trouble. She's put a boat over Barrios. Barrios can't get out now. It's 2 away. It's only Belcher and Che. It's Belcher, Che, and Egan. Egan can make the break here. Jenny Egan can close in. It's going to be 3. Barrios is with them as well. And it's Kisley in all sorts of trouble. She's back with Kaziskova and Bedek. And Belcher takes up the pace at the front. But you know, both of them are racing tomorrow in C2. And here we go. Pink boat is back. It's a bit harsh to liken her to a cockroach, but it just doesn't, you can't get rid of her, can you?
No, she's like that little Jack Russell that's always snapping around your ankles. The more you tell it to shoo and go away, the more it's going to come back at you. And that's the sort of attitude you get from Anna Kaziskova. Another very popular personality. She's got a lot of mates around here. I think she's got sort of permanent residence down in Amanzim Toti, south of Durban. She can move into whenever she wants.
So Egan round the turn, Che on her inside. Barrios, you see how Barrios has got her nose just inside the tail of Egan there, and that's how you get round a turn in the V. Belcher on the outside, untroubled, lead change, nobody wants it.
Egan's done her turn.
You know who's going to get it?
Oh.
Kaziskova. There she goes. Belcher has been shuffled to the front now.
Kazishkova on her outside.
Beautifully in the back. Barrios again on a really nice wash there.
Jen Egan being really streetwise. She's enjoyed her fair share of time on that diamond.
It's one of the best races I've seen Jenny do.
As far as energy consumption goes, Jenny Egan's definitely raced a perfect race so far. She's never had to be under pressure at any stage. She's either been first wash or on the V. She's had one nice pull now, but she's been in control of where she's at the whole time. So it's going to make her last longer as we get to the dying stages of this race.
Even when we saw her take the lead, it wasn't a stressful lead for her. She was really conservative in her lead. That's when Kaziskova caught up again. That's what closed the gap that Belcher had tried to maintain. So this is a really, really good race. You only have to turn the clock back a few years, and at this stage in the race, it would have been 2 women.
Psychologically, what sort of an impact will Lonnie Belcher's European champs have on this race? Renata Shea took that, but Lonnie Belcher really put the cosh on her.
You can't have come out of that race. Certainly Kisley, who got beaten by Belcher, knows that Belcher's on form. And Kisley knows that, Che knows that to overtake her down the last bit was quite hard work. And Che also knows that it was only quite hard work because Belcher had made a hideous mistake in the previous 3 minutes by going too hard. So Che knows she's under pressure here today, without a doubt.
Belcher
come up on the left-hand side. Or it might be, no, it was Kisley who dropped back on her that's forced Barrios into that position. So Kisley, maybe not the wisest move. She's going to have to go around all 5 of those girls.
Kaziskova's taken this whole bunch in at a very narrow angle.
Belcher in all sorts of trouble there. Che held her up. Kisley in trouble.
Barrios
and Barrios has fallen as well. So Kisley and Barrios and Bedek all struggling, but Barrios has got the worst of it.
She actually went back to go and fetch her peak, I think.
Something's just fallen out of her boat. Was it just her peak? That's not so bad then. That's a lot better than a seat. So Belcher recovered extremely well on the run, but been held off at the put-in by Che.
It's a big bunch at the put-in.
Kaziskova should
Egan's
be in a
getting
boat
away
by now.
well.
Egan again.
Fantastic
Egan has
job
done
from
a
Jen Egan.
fantastic job.
Belcher, Egan.
Egan, Belcher and Che. Absolutely fantastic
Kisley
job.
in trouble.
Kaziskova, what on earth? In first, out last. That is a disaster by anyone's standards. But for Kisley, it's great news because Kaziskova can take her to the front if she needs her to. What a disaster. I mean, there we were talking up Kaziskova's chances of an easy ride. And what has she done to herself? There she is.
Barrios,
you can see the ground she's got to make up.
Barrios recovered beautifully from that disaster.
Barrios
Stumbling coming out of the boat.
Was way, way off the pace.
Smacked her peak off her head and then decided it was worth going back to fetch the peak.
So
stone last into the portage and
Barrios,
then fourth out.
Awesome. Belcher also recovered from a very difficult get out. I didn't see Jenny Egan get out of the boat because I was watching other people. But what a great way to come out of the portage again. Jenny Egan, superstar for me on that one. What a great race.
Bedek on her outside. Jen Egan sitting comfortably on the diamond. Into the turn they come.
So we haven't had a single leader yet that's done anything significant enough to damage anyone else. All the damage has been done by either bad portaging, bad luck on the turn, but there at the back of the group, Kaziskova again. Kisley just struggling to maintain contact around the turn. She's got another length to make up. There's the nose of her black boat in the air for now. She needs to get the boat nose buried on the downhill side of a wave. And a little bit of Belcher says her time at the front's done. Che really reluctant to go to the front of the group. Other than later now.
Oh, I'm loving these
Belcher
aerial
doing
views.
the right thing there, just staying as far forward as she can while there's confusion in the group.
Watching Barrios there, though, she was making use of the double V, the wash from each boat, so that was quite clever.
Now Belcher will tuck in, misses the boat in front by inches, which is exactly how you do it. Egan's going to push Che. Che says no. And it's going to be Belcher on the diamond. Egan needs to stop that chase. The door's been closed already. And Barrios on the right-hand side. Kisley finally gets a decent ride. So Belcher, Egan and Kaziskova safe. I think Barrios is safe. It's going to be Bedek who pays here. Front five, there's going to be no problems at all. It's whether, what's happening there? I say no problems at all. What is it?
Couple of paddles down. Kaziskova's having she's having her tail nudged again.
Why?
She put her paddles down.
Belcher, great opportunity opened up and she took it. Boom, straight onto the side. Belcher, Egan, great job. Barrios struggling now. Kisley closest to us, bottom of your screen. And Bedek was the big winner from that because it looked to me like she'd lost a bit of ground before we know it. Egan, yeah, now Egan's in the lead and it's going to be a very, very slow lead. Not because Egan's slow, you understand. Oh no, they're letting Che through. And finally, Kisley gets her diamond. This is the Kisley we normally see on the first 3 laps. We're really happy to put the hurt into the other athletes. Egan comfortably round on the inside, no problems.
Now, is Van der Kisley going to keep up the grind on the way down?
No.
No, absolutely not.
And I think she might be forced to.
Neither's Belcher. Nobody wants it.
Egan is going to be the one who's motivated to hold on to a medal, I think.
Van der Kisley rocking her boat there. I'm hoping she hasn't got something snagged on her rudder.
I think it's going to be Egan for as much time.
And Egan's the most tired of the lot.
It doesn't matter to her. She's got a medal. That is all she came here for. She would never have imagined coming here for a win, I'm sure. So Egan just needs to close the distance down to the finish. The nearer she can get to the finish in this group of 3, the higher the probabilities are for her.
Jeepers, if you'd asked me to pick a podium, I wouldn't have those 3 names on it. I really wouldn't. Before
2 of them I would.
race.
This is the 3rd one. It's Egan who's performed absolutely perfectly today. So Belcher is 50 metres to go and absolutely no drama. So Kisley fancies her chances of a sprint finish, I'd say. Belcher, 10 metres to go. Needs to hold Kisley out just that little bit. And Belcher's going to be out, and she is going to run like she's never run. She's going to run like she's stolen something.
Oh,
off she goes now, and she is away. Kisley too slow, way too slow out of her boat, and Belcher is gone.
That's the chance she
Belcher
wants.
is absolutely gone. And it's going to be Jenny Egan is still ahead of Kisley.
But Lonnie Belcher has hammered
is
10,
away
15
and clear.
meters in.
Everything wants to stand up and scream for Lani right now.
Lonnie
she's
Belcher
on her own.
She needs a blitz put in here. She's
away,
broken the rest of the group.
But not away enough, I don't think. Please, don't go hard, but not too hard. Make them work.
Kisley's
but
looking
not too
deflated,
hard.
I must be honest.
Kisley is going to have to work extremely hard to close that gap.
And there goes Lonnie Belcher.
And Lani needs to judge this extremely well.
Just less than 1,000 meters now.
This is horrible now.
Kisley in pursuit. They're in single file now.
This is horribly stressful now. Egan is 3rd. I think that's a given. And she's going to be happy with that. Belcher and Kisley, I think, will come together before the finish. But this is so stressful. I hope Lani just measures it out well.
She's on her own right now, taking stock of
actually shaking right now.
Oh, Kisley is reeling her in slowly but surely.
It's a long catch-up to do, and then she has to overtake when she gets there. It's a huge ask from Kisley, but I think they are going to end up together before the finish. But Belcher going strong.
Jen Egan's
Kisley is going to close her down. Egan is 3rd now.
Lani Belcher doesn't want to see Kisley on her wave a second sooner than she has to. Is she going to burn it to the full 1,000 meters?
Belcher is not full on here by any stretch. Belcher's measuring this.
Is she going to fancy her chances
I
on a
think
sprint with
she
Kisley
knows,
alongside her?
she knows Kisley's there now. She won't push on too much. Kisley's now in a position where she can take a bit of a break. And this is going to the wire.
Well, there's no gifts coming from Lonnie Belcher, I can guarantee you that.
Interesting to see. She's chosen to come up the inside of the turn.
And she's digging really deep to get
And
onto that
Belcher
wave.
needs to relax. Belcher now needs to slow the pace down. She absolutely needs to slow things down now.
Belcher's still looking surprisingly relaxed at this stage. She went hard, but I think maybe keeping a little bit in the tank. But she is still looking relaxed. It's Kisley that's had to work really, really hard to get back on the wave. But both of them looking very much kind of calm in a situation as tense as this for us.
I definitely feel more tense than Belcher right now. But Belcher, I think, has done everything right.
And it's a pedestrian turn, it must be said. Kisley's
The
still
race
sitting
is
on the
only going to
wave.
start. There's going to be an attack at some stage.
500 meters
And
to
when
go.
it happens, it's going to be full on. So it's Belcher versus Kisley. It was Belcher versus Che at the Europeans, and Che got the best of that duel. But now it's Belcher versus Kisley, and Belcher just needs to relax. Kisley's waiting.
.400 meters to go as they approach the bridge at Campsdrift. This is gold and silver, the world title for 2017. There will be a new name on that title.
Belcher comes through. The bridge gets closer. The finish line gets closer. Egan more than happy to be where she is right now.
Belcher looking measured and fairly composed, it must be said, if we can read anything into that posture and
Absolutely,
stroke.
I agree with you totally there, Dave. She's going to wait for Kisley to attack, hold her off if she can. But I think Belcher's got at least 2 speeds to go up from where she is now.
Kisley just upping the ante a little on that
Kisley's
wave.
strike rate is high there for
She
someone
is.
on the wash.
Remember,
if she's
had
planning an attack, you'd hope that she'd look a little more relaxed. I personally, I'm not hoping she plans an attack. This is Belcher all the way for me.
For a lot of the girls I saw training, the place to fire the trigger is at the bridge.
The bridge is 50 meters away. People are starting to shout down in the crowd now. It's Lani Belcher all the way for me.
Vanda Kisley still biding her time on the wave.
Kisley has 1 shot only from here.
Kisley needs 10% more to get off that wave and into an attacking position.
Belcher half a length up on Kisley.
If
Kisley
anything,
waiting for a moment.
Kisley pulling
It's going to
slightly
happen
wide.
any minute now. Belcher can afford to speed up a little now. It's Belcher from Kisley. Kisley, stroke rate goes up, but there's no momentum in the boat.
There
and
goes
away
Belcher!
goes Belcher. It's Belcher all the way. She's pulling away from Kisley.
Lonnie Belcher!
There's nothing Kisley can do. Kisley's broken. It's Belcher. Finally, Belcher does it after years of wasting her time in the sprint program. She's cracked it. She's won the medal she should have won 10 times already. And Belcher has laid it down to Kisley. And I'm not going to pretend I'm not happy about that. Lani Belcher, you beauty.
What a moment. Vanda Kisley laid it down. She's happy with that silver, but Lonnie Belcher, when she delivered the sucker bunch, just knocked Vanda Kisley out KO.
And the next one will be equally happy to finish in third. She's laughing
She's
already.
smiling already. Look at the look on Jenny Egan's face.
Third place at World Championship Marathon. It could not have been better for her either. What a great day out.
Well, smiles galore on the 3 girls that are going to be making up the podium. Look at that.
Jenny Egan. What a great race. We were privileged to watch that today.